When I left research and landed my first industry job at a Fortune 50 company, I thought I was ready. But within weeks, I realized this was a whole new game. Different rules, different mindset, and no one had prepared me for it. In this video, I will share the 5 biggest lessons I learned the hard way, so you don't have to. Hi, I'm Andri. I spent over a decade in physics research, from Imperial College to Oxford University and CERN. Today, I'm a data lead at a Fortune 50 and a coach helping high achievers make bold, intentional career moves. If you're exploring your own pivot, you are in the right place, because landing the job is just the beginning. In this video, I'm sharing 5 lessons I learned after leaving research. The kind of, all right, moments I wish I saw coming. Think of it as a fast forward button, so you can skip some of the awkwardness and grow faster in your new role. Let's dive in. Okay, lesson number 1. The importance on precision is actually relevant. I'll give you a real life example. When I first partnered up with my business colleagues, I had 2 data sets that they should theoretically be giving me the same value, but they were not. Coming from the physics field, I compared the 2 data sets and there is clearly a discrepancy. I go to my business partner, who very smartly asks me, how big is the difference? And I say, it's 10 to the minus 3. And she says, nobody cares, move on. That was a huge learning, because in physics, last time I found a discrepancy, which was of the order of magnitude of 10 to the minus 6, the whole world came to the end, let's say. People would drop what they were doing, they would focus on debugging the code, because somewhere, somehow, we left the factor which could have potentially affected the accelerators down the line. That was a huge learning that, you know what, industry, of course it depends which kind of industry, doesn't necessarily have the same sensitivity on these small order of magnitudes of discrepancy. In other words, check with your stakeholder what's the order of magnitude or what's the accuracy that we're striving for. Together with this learning came the fast and directional beats slow and perfect. Depending, of course, on what you're working on or on what the job is, something I would definitely recommend is talk with your stakeholder, talk with your partners, colleagues, try to understand from them how accurate are we striving for here. Are we trying to be super perfect? Are we dealing with finance numbers? Or are we okay with 80-20? That's a great term I learned there. Are we striving for 80-20 directional and we're okay to go? Check. This, believe me, is gonna help you save a ton of energy and time and sweat and tears. The second learning I had was around scaling. It doesn't matter how much work I would be doing. What I realized was moving the needle in general, not only on my results, but on how I'm perceived, is how much I can scale myself. It doesn't matter if I do great hard work. What matters is if I find ways to automate things or multiply myself, scale myself, create a system that creates 10 Andris. That's it. In other words, another thing I learned in this area is the importance of me not being the bottleneck, the importance of me finding a way to remove myself from the equation, the importance of me making myself redundant. And that's something that scares people a lot. When I say this, people freak out and they're like, oh my God, but if I make myself redundant, I can get fired. News, anyway, you can get fired. Second thing is, actually, the more you manage to make yourself redundant through systems, through automation, through smart solutions, the more people will want to work with you, because it means you can find these systemized solutions and apply them to other areas of work as well, which makes you more indispensable. It makes you a great asset for any team. Okay, learning number 3. Stop trying to solve everything on your own. Ask for help and escalate sooner than later. That was a very big learning for me, especially because coming from physics, one thing you create when you're a physicist is this compulsive need, oh my God, to solve everything on your own. Many times you prefer to work on something until you find the solution without asking for help. In retrospect, maybe that even comes from insecurity, because maybe you don't want others to think that you're an idiot. But by the way, completely wrong mindset. Don't get me started there. And that's something you see definitely in the industry. They do not encourage you working on your own for 100 years, trying to solve something on your own, because in the process you waste time. And guess what? Time is money in the industry. Although academia or research can afford having long-term research that span through 3 years. Working on a project for 3 months in business is actually something that takes a lot of time. It's considered a very long-term project. So you want to stop trying to solve everything on your own, and you want to ask for help and escalate as soon as possible. Now, I'm not saying go to the opposite side of the pond, and then whenever you find a little, I don't know what to do here, you go and you are like asking for help every second. And I'm sure you don't take it that way either, because most of the people in this channel are more analytical thinkers. Anyways, what I would invite you is also to consider escalating something. Escalation is not something bad. Maybe it has a bad sound, but it's not bad. Escalating means reaching to somebody maybe above your band level who could potentially with one email remove roadblocks so that you can go and do your work faster and thrive, which will eventually benefit the whole team. Okay, so on the fourth lesson, it's around having mindful meetings. It's around having meetings where you actually feel you contribute or you receive something from that meeting. And that's something I definitely needed to learn. When I first moved in my new job, I would attend every single meeting just because I was invited to them. It didn't even occur to me to say, am I needed? How can I contribute? It didn't even occur to me to think, am I getting value out of it? If not, then I shouldn't go. And that's because, unfortunately, a bad habit that I got from my previous background from physics was that everybody would attend every single meeting they would be invited in, and they would all be on their laptops, multitasking, which, let's face it, it's just basically ignoring the speaker, working on their thing. And eventually those meetings would always end up in a dialogue between the presenter and one stakeholder, which you could ask, why don't they just meet those two? That's a waste of time. That's something I learned in the company I'm working at, which actually I love it. It's super efficient and it allows you to use your time in the best way possible. So yeah, to make it more actionable, I would advise that it's totally okay and totally recommendable to ask beforehand, what's expected of me at this meeting? And you can clarify, I'm not asking because I don't want to attend or anything like that. It's just to see how can I best serve? How can I add more value to this meeting? And then you can also try and understand a bit the agenda. Maybe read the pre-read that they will send about that meeting and understand what will you get out of it. If in both questions the answer is either A, there is nothing expected of you, B, there is nothing you will get out of it, just very politely decline, and that's okay. Also, you can always read the key minutes or key points that come out of that meeting and actions, and then decide if there is anything on you or not. Okay, I'm going to the last lesson I had, which I think is also super important. It's around efficient writing. Again, coming from physics or from research, I think that's something that took me some time to understand how much of a difference it makes the way we write. In physics, when you write an email, many times you tend to use very fancy words and you tend to write the whole details because you try to make your message as accurate as possible. It's so much time investment from the reader, not necessarily from the person who writes it, although maybe also from the person who writes it, but from the reader especially. Them trying to figure out what's the background, what's being asked, what's the next steps. It's somehow lost many times in our writing skills. Moving into a company that really values efficiency, what you learn there is how important is the one-pager you send to your managers or colleagues, or that email, or even the message, the chat message you send them, how important is for that to be super clear. There are 3 key things that should come out of that. It should be around the context, it should be about the ask, and it should be about what's next. It should be so clear that somebody, by scanning your message, they understand exactly what's needed from them. That saves them so much time and makes things move much faster. By the way, it's not very easy in the beginning. It is an investment of your own time trying to arrive to that concise level that helps the reader have the clarity they need to move forward. Although it's an investment in time, I really encourage you to take time and attend classes. There are classes that can teach you how to write efficiently, because that will pay off so much in the long term. And yes, it does take time. It's a time investment from your side. At the same time, it's something that it forces you to think more clearly, which is the hidden benefit that I personally love very much. All right, those were the 5 biggest lessons I learned after leaving research and stepping into industry. I really hope you found them valuable. If now you've been feeling a little low on energy lately, or just wondering how to recharge without losing momentum, I made a video on something I call your energy currency. You can find it over here. Hope to see you there. Bye-bye.